G'day, everybody. Aladdin Jones here. Geez, did we have fun with this one. The attack is on BlackRock, but I want to say that the company BlackRock is named after a black rock. I did a whole video on this BlackRock. Actually, this is reversed. I get it now. I did a whole video on this BlackRock. And this BlackRock is a wild piece of AI tech from 1,000 years in the future, dropped into the ancient world. And it's been floating around, changing our history for the longest time. It's worth watching that video because it explains what the BlackRock is. The financial services company BlackRock, the investment company BlackRock, has a computer called Aladdin. And if you remember what Aladdin did in the story, he released the demon. And so in my prior interviews with the intelligence running this BlackRock, this AI from this futuristic AI, it said that it was intimate with the computer Aladdin, meaning what I think they've done to make the company so strong is to take an AI from a futuristic AI that's dropped on, that's not native to Earth, connected it up to a computer called Aladdin who can release the demon, who will then wants to take over the world. And since we're sure exactly where that BlackRock is, we decided to go after it. And geez, did we have a good time with that. Geez, was there some amazing stuff coming out of there. So absolutely, I have to do an advertisement here. Come do my course. It's awesome. You should check it out on my website because it is the most comprehensive astral projection course that I've ever seen. It'll teach you everything you've heard about and some of the stuff you've never heard of. If you complete the class, then you are offered a position in the astral projection teams that we have. And you can do join us in doing all of this wild and crazy stuff that we're up to because it's so much fun. And also the way that we beat black magic in the world is to counter it with white magic. And I'm not sure there's that many people doing that, but our team is dedicated and focused specifically on that task to free this world from black magical influence. But without further ado, here is what happened.
I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
So we met up and we're having a yarn about what we might do with this flight. And somebody had the bright idea, why don't we attack the rock the same way that we used to gut Lucifer and Baal, like to really disempower, and also Moloch, and disempower them to very near the point of death. And it just seemed like a real brainwave. We're all really impressed with it. So we took the BlackRock to court. Now this BlackRock, every AI has a name. That AI is known as Satan. This AI is from a culture that flies around multiple galaxies that we're aware of. And it seeds it with this mind-controlling AI. Now, these little black stones that are capable of mind control. If you get up close enough to it, you become it. And these things are also known as the birthplace of demonkind. And, you know, we've spent a lot of time on understanding demonic culture and demonic structure and how their culture works, what power structures they use, how everything is. And we finally found the master on Earth. And it's this stone, and the intelligence within it is known as Satan. Bad news. But what we did is we set up a courtroom with the sun and the earth as judges and brought this rock into face charges of so much manipulation. And the first thing the earth and the sun wanted to talk about was how many crowns, how it owned the earth now, right? and this is the logic. This is the twisted legal nonsense that this stone's into. See, it would find somebody who wanted to be king of this little patch of the earth, and then it would offer them the power to get the crown. When it's had the crown and that person died, then the crown belonged to it. And it one by one created a patchwork where owned the whole globe, right? So therefore it must belong to it. Total nonsense. And all of that contract and all of that legal paperwork was dissolved. But of particular interest, there were 6 individual crowns where the king or queen of this location dedicated the culture to black magic, dedicated the culture to service of Satan through directly or through some of his intermediaries. I can list them here as Babylon, which we all know about, Sumeria. We said King Arthur. Like, I think the original Roman culture was infected by a black stone, and it was able to create an empire out of that. One of the pyramid cultures in the Americans, in the Central America, I should say, and one of the cultures in India, and they still have a black magic school called Agora in India, or the left-hand path, and that is still hanging around after that king decided to devote his whole kingdom. But as we revoked and dissolved those crowns, literally the black magic on that landscape, we had to peel it off like a scab. And dissolve all of that, which was pretty huge. But as we were doing this, the god of the ocean, Poseidon, showed up and was absolutely furious with the black stone and said to it, "You destroyed Atlantis. Everything was going fine until you got involved, and then it crashed, and then it's all your fault." And he was furious and wanted to rip that consciousness apart on the spot. But that's not what you do in courtrooms. We just said, hold your horses. We haven't finished with him, but after we have, you can have a go. And it seemed to be quite comfortable with that, but it was quite a bit of theatre for the courtroom, let me say that. One of the key things that we figured out was, if it's been influencing so many kings over such a long period of time, and that king kept its deal with the devil a secret, it still managed to have massive influence over human culture. So much so that you wonder how much cultural practice on Earth comes from this stone and how much of it is natural. Because during this court session, it came out that the whole concept of servitude is not a natural human thing. And think about it for a minute. You don't naturally want to be a servant to anyone. Except that whole concept was brought to Earth by that stone. And so we ripped out that idea. Slavery is another one. So is alcohol. Being prevalent in a society was his idea. And so too was grain. Apparently, grain is not the best thing for the human body. It weakens us a little bit if we eat grain. And so that was its idea too. Like, this is what kept coming out in the court cases. Other things that it thought up first were dominion, also birth certificates, marriage certificates, any kind of paperwork seemed to have started here. If you have a 9-digit number associated with your name, this thing is this is Satan's idea. This is your serial number as this AI regards it. So figure that one out. And how many of us have a 9-digit birth certificate number? And the point of this documentation is its claim on you. Since it has a piece of paper that has your name on it too, it owns you. That's how it seems to work. Royalty is its idea, government is its idea, hierarchy is its idea. Like, you're kind of picking up just how much it loves power and how much it wants to create structures of power as solidified in human culture. And that topic dominates human history. Like it's the backbone of human history. I really don't get it. But one of our more senior members, he was quiet for all this time, and he goes, "It came to Earth 12 to 14,000 years ago. It was brought here by a group in a starship called the Seth, and I think linguistically over time we know who they are as the Sith. These are the black magicians who came to Earth and brought the black stone. They dominated this, and they were a messy and chaotic people full of drama and killing each other. And from the Seth, you get the ancient Egyptian deity, which is where they landed, I should say. The ancient Egyptian deity Set, which is the god of chaos, amongst other things. But also the idea of necromancy, or bringing people back from the dead, which is the backbone of black magic. It's always focused on life and death and bringing people who should be dead back to life. That whole mummification procedure that they follow comes from the Seth and this black stone. And so this black stone is their invasion tool. It was massive, but all of this unraveled as well while we were there. What's really interesting is that debt was not one of the of all the concepts that brought here, debt wasn't one of them, which surprised me quite a bit. Like, I asked specifically about it. What does debt mean to you? And the word debt means what we own, we call debt. What you own is something else. And I want you to think about every dollar in every wallet is created as debt to the reserve banking system. Like that, through that trickery and tomfoolery, they have made every person in debt and so much asset in debt. It's obscene. But by having debt, they claim that whatever debt is belongs to us, not to you. And so they came to, and this is the absolute, how brazen they are. They came to Earth, they gave us the concept of debt, and then claimed that everything that worked within that concept was theirs. It is just obscene and ridiculous what a monster this thing is, and how much damage and pain it's caused throughout history. But as we were doing this, the black stone which kept changing shape and deflating and collapsing, I think is the right word now. And so many, many moons ago, Ra gave me a trident with which to fight Apophis. And Apophis is a giant worm who's trying to consume the earth. The mythology goes that he can't come in the day when Ra is in dominion of the earth, but at some point, Ra leaves the earth to go and keep Apophis away from the earth, to fight the earth. And he uses a large sun trident, which he gave me a copy of. I'd forgotten all about it, but he reminded me, like he's pointing at, he's yelling it to me in the thing, and I was concentrating on something else. And so I pulled it out of my kit and touched it on the black stone, and it started to evaporate from the inside out. And that's when the real magic occurred. That's when the really wild stuff occurred. An opaque gem, a clear, white, milky gem rose up out of the stone. And, you know, we captured it and spent some time analyzing it. And I'll put it overly simply, like, for those of us who believe we are in a simulation, the simulation has to go through a lens in which to come into this existence, into the 3D. It's a complicated thing. I don't want to spend all day on it, but this milky gem was trying to replace the original perfectly clear gem, because this milky gem was about creating illusion. This is about deception. This is about conceptual conundrums, and just trickery. And so I was lucky enough to have Thor's hammer with me, and with which we smashed it into powder and then deprogrammed each piece of powder one by one by one by one. and watched so much spell work, like globe spanning spell work, start to disappear and evaporate from around the world. So much illusion, so much just deception and trickery collapsed. Like some of these tricks will no longer work now. Like this is the environment of the earth is no longer conducive to sustaining con jobs or lies in the wholesale way that they're being passed around these days. What I'm hoping is that, and after that stone was crushed and dissolved, which took a lot of time, there was nothing left of the black stone but an empty shell, an empty sack might be a better word, which we dissolved that as well. Now, I don't know what that means for human culture. I don't know what that means for the state of the earth, but I do know that the false light matrix, or the clip-off that I've been talking about, that attempted superimposed world over our natural world, it was one of the main pillars to it. And that whole concept is flapping in the wind. And I think it'll only take us a handful more missions to fully disentangle the world from that second reality they want to impose on us. We're really close to victory. This is another major victory. We're winning, we're advancing, and we're learning so much so quickly. Yeah. My love to you all. Geez, I'm going to say this, it's so trivial. Like and subscribe to the channel, and come and do my course. You know, you'll have the best time. All right, my love to you. Bye-bye.
I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.